After watching a bunch of his videos to make sure that I was being accurate by calling this guy a lazy, painfully unfunny content hijacker, and then finding out that he was some type of mega Kuma on top of all that, I just have to say that I can't wait until he inevitably gets caught grooming kids in some Discord so I don't have to be subjected to his content ever again. I know I said that my next video was going to be me continuing to rip into iDubbbz. I'm still trying to make that video, but it became way longer than I thought it would be, and iDubbbz apparently has a way worse video in the works. So I might just wait for that and can the whole thing, I don't know. And besides, this video by Harmful Opinions grazed my subbox and I went, and I just had to make a video discussing how Nux Taku is currently getting torn apart for being a giant Kuma. I fucking called it, baby! Mind you, he thankfully wasn't caught grooming minors on Discord. Not yet, anyway. But still, my prediction was close enough. So, what is he getting heat for? Well, after some people recently found out that Chris Tyson from Mr. Beast was a huge creep, even though this was already well known for about a year, the mob decided they wanted more blood. In particular, Chris was a Shadman fanatic, to the point of purchasing a physical art piece and hanging it up on his wall. So, people now suddenly decide that anybody who ever interacted with Shadman in any way should be thrown into the pyre as well. Now, I think most of the people on this list shouldn't be on here, and them being there dilutes this whole thing as just another bout of hysterics. Most of the people on the list are there because they had maybe one interaction with him, or tagged him, or joked about him, which, considering how popular he was at some point, it makes sense. I don't care about someone tagging this guy 10 years ago. Maybe I'm jaded and have a hard time mustering up the energy to get angry at something that I've known for the better part of a decade. From around 2010 until he disappeared from the internet a couple of years ago, apparently due to heroin addiction and crumbling mental state. Yeah, I know, crazy, this guy was severely mentally ill, wow. Shadman was a staple of edgy internet culture. Whether you think he was someone intentionally capitalizing on the novelty and shock value of his work and purely doing what he was doing for notoriety, or he was an absolute degenerate who should be hanged, or both, Shadman was a household name. Everybody who has been on the internet for a while has seen his art. Everybody knew his shtick, so I'm not sure why there's a bunch of people freaking out about it now. Maybe I should find it white-pilling, and I could interpret this as people becoming less tolerant of deviancy, Rule 34, porn addiction, all of that. But no, I'd rather just be a contrarian and hate everything instead. I'll take a gander and say that most of the people getting up in arms about it don't really care all that much. Some might even be slightly hypocritical. So anyway, Nux Taku's on the list, and he did a little bit more than just an offhanded joke or a reference. To go through this as quickly as possible, some years ago he asked Shadman if he wanted to collab. Shadman declined. When asked about this, Nux Taku said that he was going to grill him because apparently that's what he does. He likes to troll people. He referenced 2 other videos where he apparently does this, but as it turns out, he's just glazing the guests in those videos the whole time. There's also the fact that he's used Shadman porn for his thumbnails in the past, which he defends by saying that he changed it straight away.
Another announcement, my second channel is goddamn fire. I don't know if I got the chance to tell you this enough, but my second channel is absolutely amazing. I am loving it so much. It is so fun. It's just me unadulterated, and it is a blast. I do literally everything there, and it is so much fun. I hope you check out my second channel, Nux Taku. It is also linked in the description. I want to start trying to upload twice.
He's also getting shit for calling Lolly a gray area.
There are 3 levels here, okay? There's lollies, which I have absolutely nothing against. I don't think anyone has anything against lollies, okay? Like Chibidoki or Megumin from Konosuba or Gura. Nothing has anything against lollies. It's lolly that's the gray zone, okay? So it's like me saying that lolly is sus, and it's like, really, bro? You're gonna say that when you're friends with Chibidoki?
And just being generally off.
For clarity, the words I heard him say were, So now you got all these underage kids on TikTok doing the things. Obviously solo, but the implication is there. And then straight into commenting on how catchy the song is. Teehee.
Eventually, Mudaha, who runs a podcast with him alongside one of these obnoxious, mullet-wearing, LA-branded perfs who must be getting mass-produced in some factory, gets called in, and he says that he's going to look into it, or something. Despite the fact that he, along with Turkey Tom, who was also in that call, had to have known that he was a weird cunt already, but shh. The podcast gets cancelled due to the controversy, except not really, except maybe? Mudaha said Nux should come onto the stream to explain himself, maybe with harmful opinions present as well, but Nux didn't do that, said that he was done with drama, and scurried away into the darkness to make more cringe reaction videos. And Mudaha hasn't spoken about the situation since either, as far as I know, and that's where we're at right now, as of me writing this script. My question is, why is this guy getting shit for this now? This is what he does. This is his whole thing. Why are the people who associate with him getting so surprised? You guys do know what type of videos this guy with 3 million subscribers across 3 channels does, right? Whew, well, let me tell you about Nux Taku. Nux Taku is a Gigakuma, and that's 90% of his personality. When it comes to his humor, almost every single time, the joke is that he has porn addiction.
When I was a young kid, probably around 10 if I were to guess, one of my favorite things in the whole wide world would have to have been cartoon mothers.
Oh my god, he just like me, except I wasn't 10, I was 20, and it wasn't on cartoons, it was on an hentai, and it was not Family Guy, it was a lot more focused on other MILFs, and we are not the same at all. He is the least relatable guy I've ever seen in my life.
His whole brand is about how he has porn addiction. If he can't make a hentai reference, then he's likely not saying anything at all. Or at least, nothing of substance.
Much. Someone who makes it evident at all times that she has
I'm miserable too, that's so relatable.
No love for her husband, only fueled by her never-ending conquest to ruin the lives of those whom she comes in contact with.
Yeah.
You sicken me, Lois Griffin. And to think, I once thought you were a cool mum.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
He also sounds extremely annoying. I know, I shouldn't be saying anything, but see, the difference is that my voice makes people want to immediately click off the video before even reaching the 30-second mark. Which, I don't know, it might actually be a good thing. Just means I can get away with saying anything since I know no one's going to make it this far into the video. You know, Nux Taku's voice just makes you want to punch him in the face and give him a swirly. And something about how he talks like a brain-fried redditor while his avatar bobs and weaves all about the place is unsettling to me. It makes me feel like my own brain is getting fried the longer I watch. Well, that's a problem I have with VTubers in general. What, you need a cartoon character jiggling around like a bunch of shiny keys and talking in a baby voice in order for you to consume your internet entertainment? What are you, fucking 5 years old? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. When I said this guy's entire brand and humor is porn addiction, I wasn't kidding. Go to his main channel and you will find that most of his thumbnails are censored Rule 34 or hentai. So why is there an issue with the Shadman thumbnail in particular? Is it just because it's Shadman? Are all the other thumbnails okay to these people because they were drawn by other artists? Or is it just because it's lolly? Or at least it seems to be lolly at a glance. What about all the other times he's used lolly in his thumbnails? He's another animated child lover talking about it.
After all, he has used and profited from Lolly and Lolicon for his thumbnails, his content, even forming his friendships and connections.
Which, I mean, if there's anybody I'm going to trust to tell me if a drawing is depicting a little girl or not, it's gonna be this guy. These two actually had some beef a while back, which was quite funny. You're a pedophile. No, you're a pedophile. Guys, relax. You can both be pedophiles together. It's all good. So, again, it isn't some hidden secret that this guy's a Kuma. There's no way his YouTube pals didn't know about it.
Sorry.
I mean, for me, for like Nux or whatever, like I talked to him and he's a good friend behind the scenes for sure. And this whole situation, like I would have to really look into more of his involvement and like everything. Like if you want to walk me through it, like that would be, I'd be completely fine. I just have not had the chance to like really look through every single message. I don't know. Honest to God, I have no idea like how close of a friendship was. But like I said, if he's in that fucking group of like content creation, like the anime side of things, then he would have known Shadman, and that would never have been okay.
It's the first thing you see when you click on his channel, and it's not like the thumbnails are like this only for the video to be something completely unrelated. He runs these R34 tournaments where he collabs with other YouTubers and they guess what characters have the most or least number of entries on the Rule 34 website. There are videos where he just shows hentai to other YouTubers to get their reactions. Most of his videos are giant collaborations actually. Probably how he amassed so many subscribers. So it's very, very strange that when Mudaha and Turkey Tom got on Shot Logic's stream, they basically acted like they didn't know anything about this. First, Turkey Tom lies and says that he's never been in a Nux Taku video, only to then miraculously remember that he was, after the chat just so happened to scream at him about it for 10 or so minutes.
I'm confused, like why is chat spurging at Tom? Tom, do you have any business relationship with Nux Taku? Because I was not aware if you do.
I've been on their podcast before, but I don't have any business.
You've been on the Some Ordinary podcast. Yeah, I was on the Keemstar thing. I don't know FaZe Banks.
Dude, chat just wants blood like always. Why are you so concerned with what the shitters in chat are saying? The fucking
I'm trying to understand what.
A few moments later.
You know, now that I think of it, fuck. Okay, I was actually in a Nux Taku video at one point. I was in a video with Willie Mac. With Willie Mac, we were in a video. I want to say it was 6 months ago, maybe. We're in a video. And he showed us something very weird, and I remember getting somewhat upset about it and not liking it that much. It was me, him, and Quite. Fuck. I want to say it was something involving a dog, too, but I honestly don't remember exactly what it was. But it was something involving some kind of dog and some kind of girl. But I don't remember if there was some kind of intercourse. But I think there was a very nasty implication, and I was like, why the fuck are you showing this to me? And he was like, it's just memes, man. And that was kind of my read on him. He's just like a retarded person from that perspective, but yeah.
Another little gem comes out. Any more collaborations that you maybe need to remember, Thomas?
I have one.
Wow, it made you really upset at everything? Seems like something that wouldn't slip your mind like that. Good thing he remembered just in the nick of time. He also said...
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, to be honest, with most YouTubers, the way that they do a collaboration, which is not, you know, a good standard, but it is the way that they do it, is if a guy has a bunch of subscribers and they want to work together, and they can't see any like immediate brand risk that they pose, they'll just do it basically, you know? And that's the thing with a lot of people back in the day with Shadman, I think, you know, because they were like, oh, everyone loves him, but it's kind of fucked up. Oh, well, you know, it's like, it's a joke or whatever is basically their excuse. They just write it off. They don't think about it because they're not, you know, interested necessarily in going after people for that. They're just like, I want to be a YouTuber and make money, that kind of thing.
Sure.
None of y'all saw an immediate brand risk he? None? From the second part of the statement, I guess by brand risk he means mob mentality, but I don't think this is comparable to Shadman. Shadman wasn't really a YouTuber and he wasn't doing these massive collaborations. He was first and foremost an artist who had a massive internet presence, and therefore e-celebs would naturally routinely interact with him. And most people thought he was fucked up. I'm tired of this weird narrative being touted by people that 2015 and 2016 was just people shouting the N-word in public and now hanging out with weird pedophiles, and saying it was a different time. No, people still thought he was weird back then. The difference is that people weren't making gigantic Google documents every time someone breathed the wrong way, and were instead more content to go, this guy's a freak, and move on with their lives. And that's the thing when it comes to this Shadman comparison. Even though it wasn't as different as people claim, it was still a quote-unquote different time. You're telling me that YouTubers in the 2020s who get cancelled every other week for sexually inappropriate behavior didn't have the foresight to assume this guy had some skeletons in the closet? This isn't even like they had to watch a couple of videos to gauge that this guy was a freak. They just needed to look at the fucking thumbnails or read the titles. Hentai thumbnails, hentai reactions, Rule 34 tournaments. That's not considered a brand risk? Then what is? Are they fucking stupid? Well, the answer is probably yes. Unfortunately, I have to be fair on Turkish Thomas here, because in the one video that I could find where he makes an appearance, the whole premise is that the contestants have to randomly call unsuspecting people to show them weird hentai. Yeah, and Tom was one of the unsuspecting people, and I guess he didn't like it? Don't know how upset he was by it, since he always acts like he's too cool to express an actual emotion.
Dude, this is just made for people who like have this like specific fetish of like being a dog that bathes with like a naked woman. The voice is so upsetting.
Can't believe this.
What the fuck? Is that the nose?
Oh god, dude, what the fuck? That's fucking disgusting, bro.
It's clearly a euphemism for like a phallic object.
Then there's Mudaha, who later agreed with Tom on his statement about brand risk.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, we should just bring him on and confront him with it. Because look, if the whole thing is like with his lolicon stuff is like his history, because obviously I think Nick even described it on this show just like 20 minutes ago. Like when you're, or I think it was Tom, when you're collaborating with somebody, it's like obviously you're just sitting there making a video.
I mean, how can you explain this away as not knowing? You've talked to him one-on-one, you had a podcast with the guy, and you've appeared on multiple videos with him, all of which are weird hentai-related stuff. Oh, sorry, they're meme reviews and game shows.
We haven't done like a full background to look onto what his content is or anything. Obviously, I was on a few collaborations with him when he was doing like fucking memes and like the game shows with like 15 fucking creators. And that's pretty much the extent of my collaborations. Behind the scenes, he's only been like a kind person to me, and we've had just, you know, mature conversations that are well outside the scope of YouTube or just discussing business. I've never really he's never really shown me lolicon in the background.
I just feel like you're taking it a bit easy on him because you're friends with him. That's all.
That's all he did, as far as they know anyway. They didn't see nothing. They had nothing to do with anything. Don't ask them.
So you can't see at all?
Huh?
You can see though, right?
I'm legally blind. I can see, barely. Barely, but I'm an innocent bystander. I ain't do nothing. I don't know what's going on. All I know is my side of the story. I can't tell no other story. I'm innocent.
You know, I used to think Mudaha was one of the good ones, man. YouTubers, I mean. I don't know what you thought it was referring to, but really it reflects more on you than it does on me. He was at his best when he was reading creepypastas and laughing at shitty .exe games, and I guess it all went downhill from there.
Then, after he let out a moan, he said, "You never know a good thing until it is gone." When Conker said gone, it was so loud and terrifying I shut off the sound. Then I took a piss and came back.
He caught the same disease that Critical got, which makes you stop being entertaining so you can sit in your room and talk for 20 minutes about a topic that could be covered in 2, so you can give the most neutral, generic take possible. All with minimal editing, because you make your millions, so you don't need to care anymore. You know, this is the second time that he's publicly worked with or endorsed someone only to then come out and say that he didn't even know what was actually going on. Remember the whole Mama Max thing? Didn't he say that he didn't even watch his videos, basically just endorsed him blindly because Max asked him to? Yeah, definitely a guy I would trust when it comes to sponsorships or vouching for other people. I could be fair here. I could say that Mudaha has an actual job outside of YouTube, so he might not have time to do a thorough background check on everyone he interacts with or keep up with what's going on, but the way he said this.
Memes and like the game shows with like 15 fucking creators, and that's pretty much the extent of my collaboration.
The topic of discussion is that Nux Taku is a perv, so just vaguely calling it a game show? I don't think you would describe these types of videos like that, unless you were trying to hide what they were really about. Here's another thing that makes me think he might have known a little bit more than he lets on.
I mean, Nux's whole thing on YouTube is like porn reactions, right?
So he did know now?
Wait, you showed
Yeah.
porn in those videos?
What the fuck do you mean? He's shown you actual lolly.
Yo, I am so honored that you've joined me on this journey. This is your first time here, and I have to make a good impression.
No problem. You've already made the perfect impression, man. you got me at like 5:30 watching hentai on a nice work day.
This is the final video. Well, it's unfortunate that this is the final video. I'm sure that you're just as sad as I am. This one is the depths of depravity. This is the 5 rules of handling your younger sisters.
What the fuck?
These are the 4 younger sisters.
Oh. Bro, they're fucking exceptionally young. Jesus Christ.
My go-to rule is when there's ever an anime character that looks like they're 10 freaking years old, they're probably 900-year-old cum vampires that have lied in wait for far too long.
These are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse we're looking at right now. This is like some mythological.
They've been around since long before civilization.
Exactly.
Hell yeah, this is typical peak Japanese culture. First rule, hug your little sister every day.
Okay, it's fine, okay. It's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with the hug. Yeah, it's fine.
No, the 3rd rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
Oh. Oh.
Make sure to sniff your younger. Those are the 5 rules of the Onami household. Nice and wholesome, right?
Forgive them at all. I will not.
They then fuck.
Anything. Wait, they fuck? I have to say, like, how does this get hit with community guidelines? Like, there's nothing.
Bro, nothing happened. It's wholesome. They're just hugging littles. I don't understand it either.
Yeah, this is, dude. YouTube, you're really fucking, lowly unfriendly lately, dude. I'm just gonna be real with you. I've never really he's never really shown me lolicon in the background.
Maybe I wouldn't find it so slimy that these guys' memories are really conveniently spotty if they went optics fagging to the max. These guys act like PR brand representatives when talking about some silly YouTube drama. It's ridiculous.
But this is insane. This guy's a total freak.
Wait, so he's like a lolicon defender?
I could keep showing you suspicious clips and make a big dramatic deal out of them and clutch all the pearls in the world. But let me be clear, this isn't some cancellation or a demand to take accountability. All that stuff is largely performative and I don't care for it. I'm simply making an observation. If you're a homosexual, I guess you'd call this bad faith, since what I want out of this isn't some generic apology or to expose some great evil. No. I just wanted an excuse to lampoon this freaky little retard.
Yo, what is happening, gamers, and welcome back to another video. My favorite series has returned at long last. Me showing cursed shmentai to my friends and torturing them.
Nux Taku has to be, by far, the unfunniest person I've ever had the displeasure of listening to. Like, forget about the animated child rape for a second. Maybe I'll circle around to it later, I don't know, but just follow me here. When I first talked about this guy, it was in my SS Sniper Wolf video, where I called him a hypocrite because he was talking shit about Sniper Wolf and XQC for doing lazy React content, when he does the exact same shit, if not worse.
What I'm worried about usually is like when you have such flagrant like violations of like the DMCA system, eventually somebody gets like really ballsy and starts reacting to like MasterChef, Hunter x Hunter, the Olympics.
Did you
all
just
these
say
examples.
XQC? You could just say his
name. Yeah, literally XQC, exactly.
This still applies. His Nux Taku channel just uploads complete unedited reaction slop with commentary that adds absolutely nothing. I think it actually subtracts from the original video. It actively makes me want to turn it off so I can manually go and look up the actual video. And like I've already mentioned, most of the humor in his videos is,
If she was doing something in an episode, it 9 times out of 10 related to her kids or Peter. Or the dog, I guess. That's why if you look...
Yeah. And then it all changed. It all changed when Lois discovered OnlyFans. When she became an e-girl. And everything changed. When everything fell apart. When she discovered if she just posts pictures of her titties online, she can feel so free. And soap titties she posted.
This is on a level of unfunny that I've never experienced before. It's not even cringeworthy. It doesn't elicit any sort of strong reaction. It's just sort of soul-numbing. All I feel is a muted feeling of disappointment. The closest to a reaction I got was a tired sigh. The worst part is when you find someone who's somehow less funny than Nux Taku in one of these videos, usually another VTuber. It's like falling deeper and deeper into the abyss.
Me and you, baby. Let's touch tips. Touch tips. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I got you. Touching tips right now.
Yeah, you guys are just touching tips, gross.
Muda and I have literally been like cavity exploring this whole time already.
You think that I haven't been sitting in truck chans and controlled seat the whole time? I've been driving truck chan for years now. I've been inside truck chan the entire time. I've been driving her. I've been taking that steering wheel real good.
You can't hear it, but when there's silence, Muda and I are muted, and we are just kissing. Just open mouth.
100%. I'm planting IEDs in his ass right now.
My ass is on truck chan's seat as we see. I am sitting there rubbing my cheeks. There might be a little bit of something getting on there. I don't know.
Hear you. I'm busy kissing.
Oh my god! Truck chan, rub my on you. Truck chan, rub my on you. Yeah, you like that?
Not even that. As soon as you said hating women, it was you two. Like full stop. I didn't need anything else.
You really dug up a vintage comment.
Pornhub loves women.
Hates women.
But Pornhub fucking loves it. Pornhub appreciates, man.
Yeah.
Pornhub fucking appreciates, man.
Here's a video where he looks at Pokemon Rule 34 with a VTuber that's obviously meant to look like a little girl and jokes about being obsessed with feet and does epic hentai references. But she's also sometimes oblivious and doesn't know obvious things like what a vagina is.
Oh, I'm so excited.
An abyss gaping as much as the vagina of a Vaporeon today.
I don't know what that is.
A vagina?
Is that like a type of sauce or?
It's a type of food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that it all makes sense, okay? But it's beautiful. And the fact that there's like this whole interesting Gardevoir cross-dressing lore that goes throughout these sexy Pokemon videos is beautiful.
You're really defending your like for sexy Pokemon. I say just embrace it. Embrace it.
Look, I'm not even attracted to Pokemon publicly. What? Okay? Publicly. Disclaimer if my dad is watching this video. Disclaimer.
Please don't disown me.
I am not actually attracted to Pokemon. However, I mean, if you've seen a couple of them, I don't know.
I feel like it would be kind of weird not to be into some of them. You know what I mean? Like Lot Bunny, freaking Gardevoir, like those are basic. Anyone should be into those, right?
Yeah.
They're just curvaceous and
they're what?
cute. What?
What did you say? I think I misheard.
They're curvaceous, like they're curvy.
So I think a lot of our audience probably doesn't even know that this is a thing that was like prevalent in the community back in the day.
Probably. I'm assuming they're all like 8 years old.
Probably.
Probably.
That's why they laugh whenever I say that Nags nosed all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
There's thousands, no, millions of people around the globe who watch this stuff. And there's probably a few hundred of them who are willing to look at you dead in the eye and say, yeah, this is what I watch. I like this. It's good content.
Finally changed my clothes. It's about freaking time, alright? Where should we start? Do you want to see the feet first? Or do you want to look at yourself first? Do you want to look at a mirror? You want to look at feet first? Okay, don't look. Don't look. Hey, yo! I got my little feet. I got little stinky little dogs. They smell like corn shit.
Guys, I don't think I want to do this YouTube thing anymore. Since I started the channel, I've had to listen to the most boring, insufferable people, YouTube bug people, often for literal hours. I've watched so many awful podcasts. I've had to watch She Ruined My Career. I watched a Hassan Piker podcast and turns out I didn't even need to. I've watched the Some Ordinary podcast to listen to a circle joke about how stealing content is not okay. But actually it is fine if you just tag the guy in the description. Now I'm sitting here watching fucking VTubers, probably forever ruining my recommended videos. As if these things weren't already being pushed hard enough by the YouTube algorithm. And after all that, I still had to watch more boring cunts circle jerking for hours, acting like they were covering Watergate or some shit.
Which ultimately, I think he even was included in one of the videos discussing this, like a clip from that stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was basically the correction that no, it was business stuff from behind the scenes. Now, obviously, if that stuff is happening and that's legitimate, and my understanding is that it is, that's maybe not on the top of your mind, but like the average viewer heard you say that and thought that like, oh, okay, Chud's like misreporting this. But like,
no, there was no like misreporting.
Is chatting shit on a YouTube video reporting now? Guess I'm a reporter too. At least this guy was asking the right questions, even if he's a little greasy. I think I'm dying, guys. But back to Nux Taku. What else is he getting shit for? The Bungo Tiger controversy. Hey, this is me recording outside of the vents. I had a whole section here ripping into this guy as well and explaining why he shouldn't be constantly brought up as Nux Taku falsely accused somebody of being a pedophile and it ruined their life. Because this guy really is a fucking creep. But the video is already long enough and late enough, and the audio... the audio is so fucking bad. I don't think anyone wants to listen to it for extended periods of time, so I'm cutting most of it out. Just go watch the Harmful Opinions video on it. Pretty much says what I was gonna say. What other big drama has he gotten into? Well, there's this whole drama with this company called V-Shoujo. Don't care. I'm sorry. I just don't give enough of a shit to look into it at this point. There's plenty of videos about it if you really want to know. What I want to bring up is how this guy, as established, has made his entire career off of making hentai and porn-related content, and yet remains in YouTube's good graces. And I'm not talking about his channel being monetized. He's high enough on the ladder to have a guy he can directly talk to, and have channels talking shit about him nuked without a second thought.
Dude, I feel bad. Like, I was gonna make a video on it. I was thinking about it, and then I was like, dude, if I make a video roasting this dude on my main channel, YouTube will literally deplatform him. Like, YouTube actually watches my stuff, especially ever since I've been on the Some Ordinary podcast. YouTube has really been paying attention to, like, what we've been saying. And, I'll be honest, if I would make a video on him on the main channel, I do think he'd get taken down for either bullying or the whole, weird pedo stuff. Like, one or the other. I do think so. Which is, and I don't want to be that guy that, you know, a video gets made on me, I make a video on him back, and then YouTube takes him down. So I didn't want to even touch that.
He gets sponsorships, not the average plebeian NordVPN or Raid Shadow Legends either. He's getting official anime game sponsorships, stuff like that. He also gets to interview people working in the industry, like actual voice actors. And here's something interesting. He's apparently friends with Rule 34 admins. He's friendly enough with them to the point that they hang out in his public Discord.
So anyway, Slayer Duck, Rule 34's admin, he absolute legend. So here we got Smash or Pass, the game, made by my homie at Rule 34 that sent this to me through my Discord.
Oh my god, that's full on.
Join my Discord server. The admins of Rule 34 are there and they love you. Anyway, so Smash or Pass, Cheapy?
No comment. Apparently, the Rule 34 website would link to his live streams. I don't have any evidence to corroborate this aside from one post in a certain terrorist form, but considering that he has this connection to the admins, I don't doubt it. As far as I know, his videos are not age restricted, so any random kid can come across them. There's this fetish called EPI, which stands for Early Porn Introduction, which pretty much every channel that reads the Kiwi Farms has explained at this point, but if you don't know, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pedophiles getting off to showing children pornography and quote-unquote corrupting them, particularly using Rule 34 of cartoons or games aimed at children. The most insidious part about this fetish, which is weird to say considering that the whole thing is already insidious enough, is that allegedly sometimes these pedophiles get into organized groups to actively spread such content so children may see it. I am bringing this up specifically to say that I believe that Nux Taku isn't engaging in this. To be honest, I think the whole EPI thing is blown far out of proportion. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I'm saying that I think people see it as this giant shadowy council of occult pedophiles organizing en masse to meticulously spread as much porn to children as they possibly can. I think the reality is that a lot of people are simply careless and too focused on their own enjoyment to think about the effect their actions can have. I think Nux Taku is just greedy and careless. He doesn't care if children are watching his content and falling down a dark path, so long as he gets his money. But even still, there's something really strange here. What is the purpose of videos like this? Again, I'm not saying, ooh, this is a pedophile EPI cabal or whatever. I'm simply asking, who is watching this shit? And what type of person would routinely make videos like this over and over and over again? And one has to wonder how a guy like this gets so many connections. What's so special about him that he gets on YouTube's good graces and gets the same pampered treatment that a squeaky clean family-friendly channel would have? How does he routinely manage to collaborate with official people working in the dubbing/anime industry? How does he manage to get all of these famous YouTubers together for his shitty channel?
I was brought up Jewish Orthodox. I love the community, and they're super accepting of people in general. But as far as the internet lifestyle, it's a little sus. Do you know why I'm from Canada, by the way? Because my dad's parents were Holocaust survivors and could not get into the United States. If you want to ask me if I like a specific restaurant, check if it's kosher. Literally, their houses, their families were all destroyed. Their families were murdered, okay? All of them. And they had to flee because they can't keep living there after the Holocaust happened. If it's not kosher, I've never eaten it. Arby's is not kosher.
If something happens to my channel and I'm nuked off the face of the planet, I just want to say to all 39 of you that it's been real. Also, I'm not suicidal. I think the big takeaway from this whole situation should be that these people absolutely knew what this guy was up to. There are so many different people appearing on his videos, and while I've only seen 2 properly respond, to suddenly act like they had absolutely no idea that this guy was a freak is so slimy.
Oh yeah.
Don't feel bad. These things only exist because of me.
Yeah, I went way too obscure. But, you know.
Yeah, who could know? It's not like a madman came up with this competition or anything.
Yeah, that's like some crackhead who's a porn addict.
Whoa!
What?
Whoa, let's not make accusations, he says as he...
So I've already done an intro to this video, so the people that are watching, they know what's going to be going on. You do not, unfortunately. Anyone, any guesses?
Is it anime?
34.
Also close.
Cursed.
All right, you're all right. All right, let me just share the screen so you can see exactly what's going on.
They knew. And that extends to the Chris Tyson situation, and the Keffel situation before that. They knew for at least a year and covered it up. Call it too early, when the info's fresh, and you get torn apart. But I'm supposed to praise this guy for talking about this shit after it's all over, the people involved failed terribly, and there's no risk anymore? Like I've said before, I'm not some moral crusader. I just think that it would be wiser for people to think twice before trusting any of these androids, and to start looking into things themselves. I know that it's very tedious to have to go to external websites and do your own digging rather than let some slop tuber give you the gist of it, but if you're that invested in certain drama, I think it's a necessity at this point. Just think, what else could they be hiding from you right now? Oh, sorry, something caught in my throat there. Anyway, conclusion? I'm glad Nux Taku isn't leaving the internet. Seriously, call me evil or morally bankrupt if you want, but after seeing the way he handles criticism, it's clear that this guy is only going to get spurgier, and it's only a matter of time until he gets caught in more controversies than he's able to run away from. So, I'll be watching, because it's funny. And when he fully implodes, I'm going to want front row seats. So, what's the problem here? I have holes in my brain, and I don't get it. I don't understand. Why would you have a problem with this? Why does everybody have a problem with this? I don't get it.